At a busy railway station in a bustling city, a beggar sat near the tracks, his hand stretched out, hoping for the kindness of passing strangers. Day after day, he survived on the generosity of travelers, never questioning the life he led, until one fateful encounter changed everything. One day, as he begged, his eyes landed on a tall, well-dressed man. He looks wealthy, the beggar thought. If I ask him, he will surely give me a good amount. With hope in his heart, he approached the man and pleaded for alms. But instead of reaching for his wallet, the man studied him and asked, "You always ask from others, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar hesitated. "Give? What do I have to give?" "Sir," he replied, "I am just a beggar. I have nothing to offer." The man shook his head. "If you cannot give, you have no right to ask. I am a businessman. I believe in give and take. If you have something to offer me, only then will I give you something in return." With that, he boarded the train and disappeared into the crowd. The beggar stood still, the words lingering in his mind. "Is that why I never get much money? Because I only take, but never give?" He pondered over the thought for days. Then, on the third day, inspiration struck. Near the station, he noticed a bush filled with vibrant flowers swaying in the breeze. An idea bloomed within him. Why don't I offer flowers in return for alms? Excited, he plucked a few flowers and carried them with him. That day, as he begged, he extended a flower to everyone who gave him money. To his surprise, people smiled, accepting the small gift with gratitude. Some even gave him more than usual. From that day on, the beggar started his new ritual. Each morning, he gathered fresh flowers, and each time someone gave him alms, he gifted them a flower in return. He noticed something astonishing. When he had flowers, more people gave him money, but when he ran out, the generosity dwindled. One day, fate reunited him with the tall man. With excitement, he approached him and said, "Today, I have something to give you. Please accept these flowers in return for your kindness." The man smiled, handed him some money, and took the flowers. "Wonderful," he said. "You've become a businessman like me." The words struck a deeper chord this time. The beggar realized that the power to change his life had always been in his own hands. Stepping off the train, he looked up at the sky and declared, "I am not a beggar anymore. I am a businessman." People around him chuckled, thinking he had gone mad, but 6 months later, the transformation was undeniable. At the same station, 2 well-dressed men stood waiting for a train. One of them extended his hand for a handshake. "Do you recognize me?" he asked. The other man hesitated. "No, I don't think we've met before." The first man chuckled. "Oh, but we have. Not once, but twice. Don't you remember the beggar you once spoke to?" The second man's eyes widened in astonishment. "Yes, you were the beggar I once refused to give money to, and the second time I bought flowers from you. But now, look at you. What are you doing now?" With a proud smile, the first man replied, "I was a beggar, yes, but today I am a successful flower merchant. I'm on my way to another city for business. You taught me a powerful rule. We only receive when we give. That lesson changed my life. I was never truly a beggar. I was always a businessman. I just hadn't seen myself that way. People weren't giving me alms. They were paying for the flowers I provided. I invested what I earned, and today I run a thriving flower business, all because of that one lesson." The two men smiled at each other and continued their journey, one as a businessman and the other as the teacher who had unknowingly transformed a life. This story is a powerful reminder that self-perception shapes our reality and that the principle of giving and receiving is universal. Too often, we allow our own prejudices to blind us to opportunity, limiting our potential before we even begin. Prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future, and renders the present inaccessible. We often limit ourselves by believing we are incapable or unworthy of success, just as the beggar once saw himself as nothing more than a man surviving on the mercy of others. But true transformation begins with a shift in mindset. When we move from merely taking to also giving, whether through kindness, effort, or value, we unlock doors to opportunities and growth. The principle of give and take is not just a business strategy. It is a life philosophy that fosters mutual benefit and prosperity. Moreover, success is deeply connected to how we perceive ourselves. If we see ourselves as small or insignificant, the world will reflect that back to us. But when we recognize our own potential and take steps toward it, the world responds in kind. The beggar's journey from relying on handouts to becoming a successful businessman reminds us that no dream is too big and no situation is too hopeless. The moment we dare to think differently, act boldly, and believe in our ability to rise above our circumstances, everything begins to change. Prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future, and renders the present inaccessible.